Right, so let's go over this hand. Yeah, I was like, where are all of my winds and dragons and all that? Stuck in the dead ball. If it was the Rin tile, I'd have been really sad. So I was looking at this at the end. So, oh, that's where my winning tiles are, by the way. So, the reason why I didn't call this tune or the Sha was because I'm like, oh, I don't want to reveal it that to this person that this hand is scarier than it is, because they were already willing to drop the Sha to keep Tenpai. So even if they do draw like the Haku, or the probably not the Chun because it's the Dora, unfortunately, but if they draw the Haku, they still might be willing to drop that to keep their Tenpai, because they're in last place and they have to fight for it. So that's the main reason why I didn't. Now, the second reason was because, like, well, even if I call this, I don't think it will give me another turn. But in this case, it actually does. It gives me exactly one more turn, because, like, if we notice, I would take this draw right here. The last tile becomes this one, and then we'd have 1, 2 more draws, as opposed to right now where we still have 1, 2 more draws. So it does actually give me one more tile to draw. So I probably should actually call that, considering that. Change the draw order. Got in another con. Rinshan! But my wind is dead. Actually, let's see. Would that have actually done anything? No. The only thing, there is one Haku left, but unfortunately, if I did call it, who would get that at that point? Let's see. Oh, it'd be this guy. He might drop it. But after I con this, he probably wouldn't drop it. He's like, I gotta keep my Tenpai. But there's a limit to keeping his Tenpai. He'd probably drop 5 pin over. Yeah, he'd definitely drop 5 pin over like that in that case or something. Yeah. Yeah. Truly unfortunate. Alright, so let's go over the notes we got in this game. I was also sad right here. It's like, oh look, if I get Sumo or Ron on Toyman or a Uradora, I get second! No Ura. Okay, so starting off, we got East. The font is so small. 2-0. First turn, third turn, and sixth turn. And mute my line chat. Alright, so first turn, what do I drop? Oh yeah. So considering I also have technically Sanshoku chance, maybe I should just drop Sha first. Normally if I have a 6, I'm like, I don't need the 9 much. But technically it's still around, and this doesn't do me much anyway. Not to mention, this is another one really weird thing that may not happen often, but it's like, I don't like this hand that much, and so if it is a reset, if I throw this first, that's kind of cool. But of course, that doesn't happen that much. In this case, it kind of like happened like that, but of course, in the normal case, you're not going to easily see this. A more like likely case is where if you have a really good hand and you have the option of not throwing a wind first, you should take that option, because every so often you'll throw wind first with your amazing hands, and then you'll get the Sufu Renda, and you're very sad because it's a reset. Alright, next up, third turn. Ooh, this one is shiny. So in this case, I'm wondering, should I keep... actually, yeah. So I got 1 block, 2 block, 3 block, 4 block, technically 5 block. Even if I get the 4, I can use it with this, and I can use this as my pair. So, yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe 3-so right here. I only lose, really, the 2-so drop. And then I keep the double tone shape alive, which is really good because I have some bad shapes, and if I can get this, I can open up this hands and close in those bad shapes pretty quick. Or that's the hope, at least. And then right here, it's like, Now, if I lock this in, I have a pair right here, other shapes, potential, can drop the 8 pin, I lose the chance at Itsu at that point, but dealer. The double tone is really nice though. If I do draw it, the 7-pin can be used anyway, and for Itsu, I need like exactly the perfect draws, which I still need like 3 of, so it's pretty difficult. Whereas if I at least get the Chun, the East, I can call that. Or I could drop the 8 and the 9 Manzu here, which isn't that bad either. Actually, that might be a better idea. Because if I look at the, like 1 block, 2 block, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and then this is kind of like a potential maybe thing, and this is a potential maybe thing. Yeah, I guess I should actually keep that 8-pin here in that situation, I guess. So, do I value the 7-mon draw more, or do I value the tone draw more? In this case, I probably value the tone, actually, because then I can immediately move over to a Mongon Plus with Honitsu, and even have a chance for a Hanemon with Itsu, so probably, actually, maybe the Penchon here would be okay. Yeah. Maybe the Penchon's okay here. We're already at Tatsu over, technically, so yeah, that actually seems like a good idea, so I think I should probably drop this. Alright. And going forward a little bit more to the 6th turn. Yeah. It's like, I really want to push this hand, but someone's in reach, and I'm still like 2 Shanten away. And my path to actually get to Tenpai is pretty dangerous, so just fold at this point. Even if, regrettably. Alright, next up. East 4-0, 6th turn. Speaking of Yakuman, so not quite. So we're 1 Shanten with 7 pairs here. 7 pairs Honitsu, Dora Dora. Pretty great, right? But maybe not so great. Or maybe actually great. That's a good question. So do we call here or do we not call here? So normally if you have 7 pairs, you don't want to call if you have a lot of like middle tiles. Basically more than 1 pair that's 3 through 7. You don't want to call if you don't have any value from it. So if you don't have any like honor tiles, that's usually a no-no. In this case, we have honor tiles, and we have 4 basically groups that we can call pretty easily. The honor tiles are really easy to call, though there's only 1 East left, and the ones are also really easy to call usually. So maybe it's not that bad. Plus, the benefit of this is that we can call Pon Pon Pon, and the bad part about Chitoitsu is that even if it's great, it's still on average 14 turns to get from 1 Shanten to Tenpai. So considering that, I kind of like pulling here. Not to mention, we could technically also maybe kind of sort of upgrade it to a Daisongen, but no, it's unlikely. Highly unlikely. Still, though, I'm going to send out this picture, because this looks like a nice example. Alright, but yeah, I kind of like pulling, but that's me. Alright, next up. South, 1-1, 3rd turn, 5th turn, and deal-in. Let's see, 3rd turn. Oops. Is there any benefit in keeping the 1 pin here? So if we draw the 3 pin, what would we do? We could technically keep the 1 pin around, hold on to the 5 or the 6 pin, drop like the 2 so. And if we or something, and if we technically draw another 3-pin, that could technically give us Tenpai on a Tonki. Wait. So not ideal. But it's still early on, and it is still technically something. And if we get another 2, for instance, I mean, technically we can use, if we draw like a 5-pin, we can use the 2, or 1, 2, 2, 2, 2 shape for a pair if we need it, waiting on the 1 and the 3-pin. And considering it's still really early on, yeah, we should probably throw Chun here, actually. Keeping the safe tile at this point right now is, it's way too early. Plus, there's like no like threat on the board, so we shouldn't hold on to this. This is like 7th turn, yeah, okay, but right now, no, we need to be greedy. And 5th turn. So this is a fun one. So what do I drop here? So doors right here, pairs right here. So we can either drop like 2-pin, go for Ryeonmin right here, or Ryeonkon, or we drop the 6-pin. Because this is the Dora, we should probably drop the 6-pin. At that point, we like this shape right here, Riichi from there. Oh, I really want to push the 5-pin, but it's like Tsuji of the Dora, and so it's like, nope, not gonna work. Guess I'll fold. Now, we get this, and we're like, what do we throw? So we technically don't have any safe tiles here. Manzu looks pretty iffy. 4-pin is Nakasuji right now, with 1-pin and 7-pin. And it's also right next to the Dora, so it's not that bad. We could also drop... What would we drop here? 6 Sozu, 3 Sozu, 2 Sozu are still technically all available. We can't see the last 4 Sozu, so that's kind of iffy. So yeah, probably just standard Nakasuji here. And plus, if it's Nakasuji, it can't be used with the Dora, because the Dora is the 2-mon, right? So if they were using it with that, it would be a 2-3-mon, but that's already Furry 10 because the 1-pin. So it could be used with the red Dora, though, which is a little bit more scary, but... is there anything better than that? Doesn't really look like it. 5-pin's also scary. 8-pin is also scary. I mean, 6-pin's also scary because the 7-8-pin weight is still available. We can't see one of the 8-pins out, so it's a 1 chance right there. So yeah. Still probably 4-pin. Or at least I can't see anything better than that. Oh. Yep. Guess I can take a picture, see if anyone else sees anything better, but probably just that. And if you deal in on a after reach, Nakasuji appearing like that, that's just unfortunate. Alright. No! Next question. Oh wait, first off, thank you for the follows, by the way, from Meow Wingston or Wingtons. I am bad at names, but thank you for the follow. I remember that in the game when I was like, worrying about something. Okay, so next hand. South 2-0, 6th turn, 8th turn, and I think that's it. Oh yeah, this one. So yeah, 6 turn. So do I drop one mon here, or do I drop Hatsu here? Hatsu doesn't actually do anything for me. But my idea here was, like, if I throw Hatsu, maybe it'll, like, seem a little bit less likely I'm going for, like, all honors or something. It'll make it look like a Honitsu, which it kind of does right now anyway, just because I haven't drawn any Pinzu. So, yeah. And then keep the 1-mon around, so later on, if I do drop that, it looks a little bit like, you know, like, oh, why would they keep the 1-mon over the Hatsu? Maybe they're not going for, like, Honitsu. And then maybe pull these out. Also, 1-mon's relatively safe to this person and this person as well, so it's not that much danger holding on to it. And now this one. Now it's like, I'm not in Tenpai yet. So do I want to drop the 7-pin right now, or do I want to drop the 1-mon right now? If I drop the 1-mon right now, that's no red flag, because if you see a person going for Honitsu, especially a dealer with like 2 confirmed Yaku right here, and if they are going for Honitsu, it's already a 12,000 point hand, and you see overflow, you shouldn't drop any dangerous tile after that point, unless you're in a really, really desperate situation. So I don't want to drop this until I get into Tenpai at least, because it'll be really hard for any of this to come out after that. And at this point, it's like, well, yeah, I'm taking it now. Tenpai for Yakuman, go for it. Okay. Next up, South 2-1. Ton Pon, 5th turn, 10th turn, Pon. So, 1 pins the Dora, so that makes this a little bit interesting. Kind of close situation on the board right now. East comes out. I have a pair right here, and technically 1, 2, 3 other shapes. Still early on, so I don't mind not keeping safe tiles. So I guess that's okay. Now we get to the fun stuff. What do we do here? I still want to keep the door around. I still want to keep my shapes around, and I can't lose a pair. So I'd rather lock this in and keep this pair around, and still keep the door around. So probably throw 7 here. Then 5 right here. So now same thing. I could throw out 1 pin, but I really need some, you know, juice on this hand. And if I can get a pair of this, or even like straight using the 1, that'd be really great. So I still want to keep all of that potential around, but I also need to keep my pairs around, so I don't need to technically keep everything around. So what do I do here? So I can drop 7-mon, confirm the pair, keep this shape alive, and then still have some potential over here if I do draw anything next to the 1 pin, which kind of looks pretty good. I like that over throwing like the 5 pin, because right here I can still use the red 5 if I grab it, or if it comes out anywhere. So probably 7-mon right here. 7 pin is another option, but considering 2 pairs is like very efficient, because then I can take in the 3rd of either of them. Probably 7-mon is better. So I did 7 pin in the game, and then I'm like, yeah, I think 7-mon is probably a little bit better. Then I got the 3, and then go from there. Then I got this. I'd rather take this shape over this shape. Start in the middle in case I get an 8, because that'd be great. And now questions arise. So start off 3 so it's at least safe. Avoid the Ipatsu. 1 so comes out. Do I pwn this or do I not pwn this? Dora is kind of hard to use. It's the 1 so. I get instant Tenpai on a 2,900 point hand plus the stuff on the board, which will bring it up to a, what is that? 4,200 point hand. So not that bad. 2nd place is also pretty close. If we go into this way in Horas, I'm going to probably be fighting to get out of last, so winning this hand would be pretty good. I guess how bad is the 7-mon here, though? I can see 2 of the 6s, I mean, it's 2 of the 5s, so that makes it a little bit better, but they reach it on the 6-mon, which makes it pretty iffy. So, do I pwn this or not? My Shimocha is also fighting, which looks to be a 1,000 point hand because the Dora is the 1 pin, and unless they have a Unko of Haku and they're waiting on a 1 pin Tonki, not gonna happen. So I'm not that scared about that. The Riichi's more scary than that. So yeah, should I call this or not? Hey. DDR Dan, I think you discard the 7 pin because the 1-mon discard later is more surprising. Oh, for the Yakumon? That is true. My only concern with that is that, like, if I drop the 7 pin, because I'm not Tenpai yet, I can't, that's going to make it very, very, very hard. Like, no one's going to be willing to drop the West even after that. Or especially the Haku and especially the Dora. Whereas if I drop the 1-mon, they're still willing to drop those 2 tiles. And at the end, if I do actually, you know, get into Tenpai, at that point, it's like, okay, whatever. Like, no one's going to drop stuff into me anyway once they see Overflow. But if I'm in Tenpai, I at least can still draw my tile and win a Yakumon. But before getting into that Tenpai, I kind of don't want to alert them to say, no, stop, don't drop any of your honor tiles, you might die. Before I actually get into Tenpai. And because, yeah, then I'll probably be stuck in 1 Shanten forever, unless I draw it myself. Even if the 1-mon later on is a little bit more surprising. In this room, once you see that Overflow, even with surprise, like, I still don't think that they'll be willing to drop those honor tiles, like, at any time after that 7 comes out. Alright. So yeah, what do I do here? To call or not to call? That is the question. Save as. So if I do call this, I get instant Tenpai, but I have to risk 7-mon. How many open Sujis does Toyman still have? So if we count real quick, we can see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they still have, oh, 9. Oh wait, no, that's already included. So they still have 10 available Suji tiles left, so it's not that bad. Dora is also really hard to use. We can see the 5 pin out right now. If we do deal into this, though, we're kind of sad. But it's not Ipatsu. 6 Manzu was their Riichi tile, though, which makes it very iffy. And if we do fold, then 2 players are duking it out, which isn't that bad for us, but being an instant Tenpai for this hand would be pretty nice, and it's also on a double-sided weight. Difficult. Yeah, this one's a little bit hard. If I had more information on, like, how bad the 7-mon is, that'd be a little bit okay, but I don't see any 5-mons out, and they reach it on the 6-mon, so yeah, it is quite possible that their weight is around the 6-mon. 3 of the 8-mons are out, though, so that does make it a little bit better. But not seeing the 5-mons, it makes it a little bit scary. If I do ignore this, I can drop the 1-sos as well, which won't deal into this person, to Kamicha. DDR Dan says, let's see, because they discarded middle tiles, does it mean they're more likely to have a weight around the 6-mon? I mean, 3-so and 4-pin and 8-so, maybe. It's mostly just, like, the Ricci tile itself, I guess. It's like, why do you keep a tile up until the point that you reach? Usually it's because it has something to do with, like, your weight or something to do with your hands. You're not keeping it because you have to, normally. Which can mean, like, if you need 2 more shapes to be completed in, like, one shanten, and you complete one of them, and then you Ricci on the other one, you have, like, almost a 50% chance in that situation of, like, having a tile being weighted around the thing that you Ricci'd on, as if both the shapes were kind of, like, equivalent. So it's, like, very questionable. And yeah, they did, if we look at their discards, they dropped 9-mon, 9-so, Haku, Hatsu, 8-so from their hand. That's a bit weird. So it's like, why did they drop the 9-so and the 8-so? Probably because, if I had to guess, they had, like, a 6-so or something, and then they maybe drew a 5 and then dropped the 8. Or maybe they're just being tricky. That's also a possibility. But then they dropped West later on, which was already killed off, which looks like a safe tile overflow. And then everything after that was probably connected to some shapes in their hands. 4-pin, 3-so, and then 6-mon, if I had to guess. In reality, what actually happened? Dun, 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 dun. So let's see. Start off. Got their lone 9-mon they throw out. And they got their lone this they throw out. Ah, see. They were being tricky here. Hatsu's died off, and then they throw the 8, and it's like, ooh, do I have something around it? Nope. It's a weird hand they got going on. 6-mon, so yeah, right next to that. Why were they keeping the 6-mon for so long, though? Oh, I guess if they get the 5-monzu, then they can drop the 4 and get the Ipeiko. They could have got Suanko, but instead they have Dora 3, Ricci, potentially Ipeiko. That's a scary hand. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's scary. So yeah, do we call that or not? I mean, normally, like, 1-pin Dora is really hard to use. They could have an Onko, but what are the chances? So yeah, I guess because 1-pin is the Dora, maybe it does make me a little bit more likely to call this right here, as opposed to if it was, like, 3 through 7 tile. That's a lot easier to use. But we do have 2 people in, like, a death match right now, which is kind of good for me, because I don't want to get last, and second isn't that much of an allure. But even if I, like, fold, and then, one of them tsumos, that's pretty bad for me. Like, if that guy tsumoed the death hand, that'd be really bad for me. And even if one deals in, if it's not that big, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Like, if 4th place Ron's 2nd place, that's actually worse for me in a lot of cases than dealing into a cheap hand. If it is cheap, that is. So yeah. Because 1-pin is the Dora, I kind of like calling here a little bit better. Da, 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 da. But yeah, with the 6 being the Ricci tile, it makes the 7 very questionable. I guess it's not super bad, though, because we can see a lot of the 8s, but it's still pretty bad. Yeah, that's questionable. I should send this to people, too. Let's see. I wonder if Ray answered my other one on Twitter yet. Nope. I need more strong friends on Twitter. So that way I could spam them. Or just maybe keep posting random stuff on Twitter into the abyss, and maybe one day a random person will come around. There's a Twitter post that someone made where they just like write over the Pennywise scene where like the little kid gets like pulled into the drain by the clown, and they just like replace the text with like whatever. So one of them made is a person waiting on like a Nanikiru question on like Twitter. So the boat goes down, sinks into the thing, and it's like, oh, I hope someone answers my "what would you do" question. And then the clown appears, like, hey, you should throw the red 5. And they're like, oh, thank you for your reply. No, listen to me. Trust me, the red 5, you know, if you drop that, you can go for Sanshoku, you can go for, like, Junshan, has a lot of potential. Oh, well, that's nice. Hey, kid, I used to be a 7 Dan, so I can answer any of your other questions as well. Oh, really? Yeah. And then it ends up with, like, them playing a game, and the kid dies and loses all of his points. That's kind of how I feel sometimes during questions on Twitter. It's just like, sometimes I get some very nice people answering it. Other times I'll get random people that are just like, 5 pin. It's like, why would you do the 5 pin? 5 pin. Okay, can you please explain? 5 pin. That doesn't help anyone. What are you doing? Alright. Alright. So yeah, that's questionable. Next question. South 3-0, 5th turn. Ah, yes, the great con of the world. What do we do here? So it's South 3. Ideally, we want to get above Toyman, but at the very least, we have to avoid falling into last right here, which would be very, very bad. If East wins a big hand, that would also be very bad for us, so we don't want that to happen either. So what do we do? If we do con like the 6 Mons a little bit later on, then 8 Monzu is a lot easier to come out, which is really good for our Sanshoku. But 6 pin's also the Dora still, but yeah. So it's like, what do we do here? So I was thinking we could still technically go for another hand if we happen to get like an 8 pin or a tone, we'd have to reach. But if we do like con this and wait on like the 8 mon, it's not that bad. So considering a 6 pin also came out here, maybe throw the 6 pin here. Yeah. Yeah. I have no clue. This is a very, like, meh shape where it's just like, ugh, I look at it and I just, like, sigh to myself and think, what do I do with this? It screams Sanshoku, but it's like, but then what? For the moment, I think maybe 6 pin is okay, or maybe 8 so, but if we're gonna drop 8 pin, like, Sanshoku is technically the same as keeping a door around, except we can actually open it, so 6 pin is probably okay. If we later on want to con this, that might be alright, but I don't think we should actually con this right now, but the benefit is, if we do con it right now, it can potentially hurt the dealer, but dealer might actually be the first person in Tenpai, especially since they threw the 6 pin, so we probably shouldn't con this right now. So yeah, I like the 6 pin drop. And now we got this, and we're like, well, now we're 1 Shan 10. Do we con? Still kind of iffy. Still kind of iffy. If we're in Tenpai, maybe. But, like, 1 Shanten's not that bad. Plus, if we do con right now, we still have the chance to open up for, Sanshoku. We could still fold with the East that we have. There's a lot of, like, you know, things we can do. A lot of things we can do. What do we do? Ugh. Not to mention, if we don't con and we keep this around, we can technically keep a, like a 5-8 potential weight around, which is pretty good. Reachy double-sided weight, it's not bad, right? Especially if all the Dora get killed off. I sent I sent this hand to my friend, and he's like, I've never seen a hand like that before. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, maybe like desiring the Sanshoku here is a bit much, especially since like early on. Sanshoku is like really hard to get because it's like Penchan, Kanchan, Penchan, next to the Dora. It's really iffy. Really iffy. Let's see. Save this one.
Con.
Yeah. The con right there is kind of questionable. I mean, it does up the danger, and I can fold pretty much to anything with the East that I have, and I can still technically also open up this hand, but from the beginning, I think looking at the Sanshoku was the mistake. Because even though it's like, ooh, I can open for Sanshoku, it's really, really, really hard to open up for this Sanshoku. Like, really, really hard. Like, harder than getting that Yakuman that I got. Like, this is difficult. So I probably should have ignored this from the beginning, maybe. Even, like, dropping the 9-pin right here. I sent the follow-up picture to my friend. He's like, ... That's horrible. 9-mon, still your best drop. Con! Wow. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, this hand was a whole bunch of questionable stuff. Probably should have just ignored Sanshoku chance from the very beginning. Sanshoku is dangerous. Don't believe it. It lies to you. Alright, next up. Reachy. Should I Reachy here? Yeah. 3-sided weight, waiting on the 2-5-8. This person could technically run me with a 2,000-point hand, which would make me very sad. But all things considered, you know, this guy can still win. I'm in Tenpai, waiting on 10 tiles right now, including the Dora, which can get me second place as well. So, all things considered, I should probably definitely take this.
Each.
Probably definitely should. Now, I'm curious, what did this guy have over here? Yeah, see, Death Hand, just in weight. Oh my god. It's not. He has like so many Dora. Oh my god! Like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like whoever uses into me is gonna get last place. Good luck. Wow, that's scary. Yeah. Yeah, that's scary. Why are people in this room so scary? Dang it. Hey. Yeah, I still think I should take the reach. Oh my god. Wait, he dropped the 5 mon. Wait, what's his weight? Oh, the 4, 6, 7 pin. So if this is the 7 Monzu, I would have dealt into a Mongon, and there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, Ho is... it's a trip. Gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. Alright, so that's all of the notes I got, and that's all the games for today. So, thanks for watching. I'll probably be streaming a couple games before our league tomorrow. So, thanks, and see you around.